As Berlin is famous for its successful startups, what is the situation in Munich?
Second largest hub for
Hmm.
startups in Germany. So, there's always a competition and a rivalry with Berlin, but we're just behind Berlin in terms of venture capital investments. So there's big investment funds for startups. I think it's 4 billion per year in 2020 for Berlin, and we're at 1.4 billion. So the second in Germany. In terms of the number of unicorns, which are like successful startups that became like basically global superstars, I think there's 11 from Berlin and 9 from Munich. So there's also like a very big
Okay.
success rate in Munich. We have Nuremberg Erlangen, which is like another town or city just north of
Yeah.
Munich, which is also another hub of fantastic universities like FAU. That's where they developed, I think, the MP3, the format.
Uh,
And so there's a huge ecosystem. So from my side, actually, my wife works with one of the unicorns from Munich. So it's a company called Hybris,
okay.
and they do
Uh-huh.
e-commerce platforms and education. And now they're owned, of course, for many years by SAP. SAP bought them, and that's called an exit for a startup. So the startup gets bought by a
Uh-huh.
bigger company. And she works now with SAP Hybris, which I think the name has changed. They're fully integrated with SAP. That's one of the big ones. We
Mhm.
have Lilium. They were part of
Okay.
UnternehmerTUM, and they're trying to invent a flying, affordable kind of car. And they came to our program. They said, we want to build a flying car. And everyone was like, get the hell out of here. There's no way you're going to build a flying
Uh-huh.
car. And now they have a massive investment. They're over in Silicon Valley, and they're looking to launch within the next 3 years for their. It's basically a car with wings, so they can do like kind of takeoff and landing with a car. It's crazy. We
Wow.
have Check24, which is like a massive platform for searching for insurances,
Mhm.
like searching multiple providers or searching for cars. They have a load of sections. One of my good friends works there as well. Zoo Plus, Flixbus. I think we all hopefully know
Yeah.
Flixbus. They're a massive
Yeah, I know.
organization. Yeah. Now the trick with Flixbus is everybody claims them, right? So every institution that is doing entrepreneurship, so Unternehmer TUM, we have CDTM, we have LMU, they all claim that Flixbus came from there, right? But it's a Munich born and bred startup that has now become a unicorn. It's a massive
Yeah.
organization. Also for digital health, this is actually my personal interest is like health and medtech. There's some very big companies that are coming up in the next few years that are really at the stage where they're going to hopefully become some massive organizations. We just had one really interesting startup by the CEO Gloria called Temedica. She came to Hack and Talk and gave an amazing inspirational talk
Yeah. Yeah,
sharing
I
her
have
journey to
read
date.
about
Yeah, you read about them? Okay, it's cool. That's great. You're very well read.
even
There's actually, if
yeah.
anyone's interested, because I think some of your audience will be coming potentially to Munich to study, I'll share with you a link for, there's a Munich startup ecosystem report, and it's amazing. It goes through like a lovely graph of the investment and the companies and
Mhm.
also the different accelerators. It's a really great resource to get inspired about why you should come to Munich and not Berlin.
Yeah.
No, I'm only joking.
Anyways, like I'm here in Munich, so I'm with Munich.
Yeah, exactly. You're loyal. Yeah, and actually on that point, a lot of startups that come
Mhm.
to us are PhD students and master students that are already doing their thesis, and then they don't know how to transfer from the research to a business. So that's
Right.
I would say nearly 40-50% of the people that come into our programs are in that position. Yeah.
This question, I got this from my WhatsApp group, is can
Okay.
Indians or people from other nationalities, can they start their startup in TUM with the registration in Germany itself? Like they
Yeah.
have to register in Germany or they have to register the startup in their home country? Like what is the rules or
Yeah.
regulation behind this?
It's a very good question. So it normally happens after the startup has been in contact with me. So we support the startups to go to an accelerator. So what I would say is I'd refer you to a really fantastic organization set up by my good friends Manoj and Jagadeesh called
Okay.
daretostart.org. And they are specifically helping startups connect between Europe and India. And both of them are from India. They do amazing work. They do hackathons as well. And they have a specific series of videos on how to form a company if you're in Munich and you want to register in India, or if you're in India and you want to register in Germany. So it's a little bit outside of my area, But what I would say is, yes, it is possible to register a company when you're here studying. The issue is more the limitation of how much time you can spend, because if you have a student visa, for example, you need to be careful, because your purpose there for the visa would be to study, and the startup should not necessarily interfere with that. There's a limitation on the time, so I think it's 120 full-time days, or I think it's like 240 part-time days that you can work. So there's some conditions you need to be aware of. I'll send you a link. It's from the German government, and it's in English, and it explains everything about how to create a company if you're from India or from outside of Europe. But normally, to operate and sell products and services in Germany, you would need to have a company registered here. So there probably is a way, if you're registered in India and you already have products and services, that you can provide them to people in Germany. But I guess there's some trade tax and some different things that you need, licenses maybe that you need to consider.
Yeah, all right. Then I'll link that PDF in the description so that people can get a detailed overview of what it is. When can one enroll into the Unternehmer TUM program? I mean, there are dates, or is it like all around the year?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's all around the year. So for the Explore program, because I guess most of your audience will be just starting out with an idea, we run Explore about 3 or 4 times per year. So for the rest of the year, unfortunately, it's already finished. So the only way to get into the program that will start in October, because the applications are finished, would be to come and join the Innova City hackathon. And then you'll be able to, if you win, join Explore, because we reserved the spot. But it's all year round. You can check it out on the website. All the deadlines are there. There's different programs that happen at different times of the year. But again, the best thing to do is to come and talk to me, maybe join Hack and Talk, and we can have a little one-on-one chat about when you're coming here and when you might. So to join our specific program, Explore, the bootcamp for startups, you just need to have an entrepreneurial mindset. You have an early stage technology-based business idea. You're an individual or a team, so you don't have to have a team, but a team is an advantage. And the last thing is, you don't need a prototype. So you don't need to have built anything, but you need to have, of course, just the idea. And they're the only requirements for Explore. And for the Innova City Hackathon, you just have to have an interest in learning about entrepreneurship, and then we provide everything else.
Do I need a German partner or a German student in my group to start a startup? Like we are, doing the startup in Germany. So is it like, do I need a German national in my group or a partner with me to start the startup idea?
So I think the short answer there is no. I mean, we have a lot of international students that join us. It's really not necessary. It can be helpful if you're looking to launch your company in Germany, of course, to have a German speaker and a native, but it's not necessary at all.
Opportunities in the field of startups, like internships or work students, do you have some idea on this topic?
Yeah, so we always accept and are interested in motivated students, particularly international students, that would like to join and help support one of our programs. And as I said, we have over 20 programs from the very early stages all the way up to the top of the mountain with the UnternehmerTUM Venture Capital Fund. Right. And every single one of those along the way have student positions available. So after you've registered with your university and you're looking for an internship or a paid position, and that's definitely available. I'll send a link to you, Grafan, to the career page, and you can just search all of the information there. And on top of that, startups are also very interested in getting students that might be interested to support them and to work for them. So this is another way in which you can get into the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Munich. So definitely, I would highly recommend it. It's a great way to get to learn about entrepreneurship by working.
What are your points or your tips that you will give students or aspiring students who wish to join the startup program at UnternehmerTUM, or those students who have those ideas, like I have this startup idea, I want to make my firm in future, I want to make my company in future. So your tips or your ideas that would motivate students, we would like to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the number one recommendation that I would have would be to come to the event that we do on the first Wednesday of every month for free online called Hack and Talk. And why I suggest that, is because you're going to get a chance to meet other entrepreneurs and innovators from around the world. You'll get inspired by the people that are presenting their ideas and their startups. You'll get motivation. And if you want to, you can also then present your idea in 1 minute and maybe then find some other people that want to work with you. So that's the easiest thing you can do, is to come to that event, even if you just watch, because I'll be there, my colleagues will be there, and you can ask some questions. The second point then would be tips for what you can do now, like right immediately after watching this video. Here's the top five tips that you can do to be able to develop your company and your idea. So the first thing is, I recommend people to develop a one-pager, so 1 page of a document, or what's better is kind of a pitch deck, but a very simple pitch deck in PowerPoint. And what you need to basically put together is, you need to have a problem. So a very big problem that a customer has and that isn't already solved. The second thing you need is a solution that very clearly is an idea that you have about how to solve that problem. The third thing then is, what are the benefits around that solution? So yes, you solve the problem, but what value do you create by solving that problem for the customer? The fourth thing then is the market volume. So you don't want to create an idea for something that only has 1,000 or 2,000 customers in the world, but you want to have a big enough market that you can really have a successful and a scalable business. The next thing then is about the business model. So how you're going to make money. And this doesn't have to be complicated. You can say there's 10,000 diabetes patients in Munich or in Bavaria. We will charge each of them €10 to use our app, which gives us a chance of say €100,000 per year of money. This is basically a simple business model. That's as complex as you need to make it. The last thing then would be about the team. So, presenting yourself and anyone else that's working in the company, even if it's only you, it's an opportunity for you to ask for other support. And they're my top tips of things, the questions you should answer right now. And then when you have those ready, you can put them into the application for the Explore program or for whatever else. But apart from that, I'll just share with you later a link to the Airbnb pitch deck that they used at the very, very early stages. And that's a great template that I recommend all startups to copy. It just goes through, like I said, the problem, the solution, the market volume, the business, everything. So you can just copy that template. I love it because the design is very simple. It's easy to understand. It's visual. There's very little text in the pitch deck. It's perfect. So I'm glad you read it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the audience, but definitely the last thing that you have told this, it would definitely help me out. I'll definitely look this and search about this and write my ideas on 1 page. And as you said, it shouldn't be too hard or something. It should be clear, easy, and up to the point. Yeah, that's important, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the last point is that don't just keep it to yourself. A lot of people keep the ideas here. They think that they're the first person that ever came up with the idea. 99.9% of the time, someone else in another part of the world has the same idea as you. What the benefit is that you can do is to talk about your idea with friends and family, to listen and get feedback, because the more you do that, the more structured and the better your pitch deck will become, the better your sales of selling the idea to people will become. And to do that, you need to have the experience of talking to people that are not just in your family, but also strangers that may be an expert in the field.
Everything that you have told in today's session, it is definitely helpful, not for the audience, but especially me, talking about myself. This is the best session, entire on my YouTube series. This is the best session. I'll see this session many times, and I'll grab all the information that you have told in today's session and try to implement that in the future. So I would say, thank you. Thanks for coming on my channel. And at the last, I would also say, audience, please subscribe to Dr. Alan Armstrong's channel. Can you please say it again, so it will be remembered by the audience?
The strong startup. So just search that on YouTube, you'll find it. And just to say thank you to you, because you've engaged with your audience. It was really helpful to have questions from your audience, that we're just not having a conversation for me and you, but you're really helping your audience that way. And it was really nice to answer those specific questions. So thanks so much. I really appreciate being here on your podcast. It's a real pleasure for me. Thank you.